Hey friends, today I'm going to share some delicious summer grilling recipes with you. The first one is actually a smoked recipe. This is a smoked chuck roast recipe. And I am just getting my seasonings out, but I am using coarse ground salt, coarse ground pepper, about a tablespoon of each. And then I am using garlic powder and onion powder. And I am just going to make sure that I season this chuck roast really well. It's a 3 to 4 pound chuck roast. Once you get all your seasonings ready, I just combine them in a small bowl and give them a good mix before I coat this entire chuck roast with the seasoning mix on all sides. I am preheating my smoker right now to 220 degrees. I will use my super smoke option on there, but I am going to let it smoke for about 5 hours today. You can definitely let it go longer. The goal is to reach about 200 degrees internal temperature so that it's nice and tender. And we actually did eat this up before I took a video of it, but I did get a few pictures that I'll share with you. The next grilling recipe, or another smoked recipe, is actually T-bone steaks. I'm going to do these also on the smoker at 220 to 250 degrees. First, I am just going to drizzle them with some Worcestershire sauce, and then I am going to season them with coarse ground salt, coarse ground pepper, dry minced garlic, and some onion powder on both sides. Can you make it go closer?
It's pretty close.
Well, then can you make it go a little bit further out? Just change a little bit.
Wait, I made it go in even more.
Once you get those on the smoker, you're just going to watch the internal temperature and let them smoke to your desired doneness. So I am cooking mine to 135 degrees. And then their temperature will keep rising to about 140 when you take them off. But these were incredibly delicious. Everybody loved them, of course. I am just going to get another batch of same-day sourdough bread going really quick. I am using the same recipe that I shared last video, but it is 2 cups of very active sourdough starter, which is made with a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio of sourdough starter, water, and flour. I get that into my bowl with 1 cup of warm water, give it a nice stir till it's mixed really well, and then I will add 3 cups of bread flour and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Once you get all those ingredients together, stir it until you can't stir it anymore, and then knead it a little bit, just for a couple minutes, and then I cover it with a clean towel and let it rise in a warm spot for a couple of hours, and then I'll do my stretch and folds. Welcome out to the garden. Today I'm going to be harvesting some of our sugar snap peas. I planted these way back in April before the danger of frost was over. There are a lot of vegetables that you can plant when there's still a danger of frost. I live in zone 6B, which there's a saying here in Idaho that you don't plant before Mother's Day because there's always going to be a killing frost, which there was this year. A lot of our fruit trees lost most of their blooms. But there are vegetables that you can plant in April before it's time to plant a garden. And these plants are frost hardy plants. So it would be lettuces, that would be your kale, your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbages. All are frost hardy plants and cold weather plants. They love the cold weather and they do really good in them. And so this is one of the first vegetables that we're harvesting from the garden right now. We are also harvesting a ton of strawberries. The raspberries are on, but I didn't plant any kale or lettuce this year. We just didn't eat enough of it last year for me to want to do it again. So this is the first vegetable that we're harvesting, and I am going to use it tonight to make salad. I have had my sugar snap peas for the last couple of years next to my sage, which is really taking off right now, and the bees are pollinating it, but it is really pretty. I think I might use this to actually make a flower bouquet. Sugar snap peas are actually a climbing plant. So we run metal wire between two T-posts and they just grab onto those. They have these little spirals, these little tentacles that reach out and grab onto those wires and they climb up. I only have three feet up, but I think I need to add a couple more because every year they start leaning over. So to keep them up straight, you've got to put in those wires to hold them up. And while I'm out here, I'll just pull out a few weeds while I'm at it. I am just going to wash these sugar snap peas off, and then I have to remove the end where it was connected to the plant, and a lot of these still have little flowers on them, so I'll take those off. So for this salad, I'm going to use the sugar snap peas. I'm going to slice those up whole. I use them whole. And then I am adding some fresh asparagus from a local farmer. You'll notice it's big and fat, but it's actually delicious that way. It's actually more tender. Asparagus is actually more tender when it's big and fat instead of skinny, because the inside part is what's tender. So the less you have of the outside compared to the inside, the more tender it is. I'm just going to add that to a bunch of lettuce with the sugar snap peas. I'm going to slice up some radishes, add some cherry tomatoes, and then I am going to make up a fresh salad dressing with some lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, and then I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasonings to that. That's one thing I just love about the summertime. You can pick what you have in your garden and make a salad with it. You can use anything. You can use cucumbers, you can use tomatoes, use your favorite things, and then the lemon and olive oil dressing is just really light and fresh, and it's just delicious. been a few hours and my dough has risen really well, so I am doing my first set of stretch and folds on this. I ended up doing 4 sets of stretch and folds, about 30 minutes apart each. And then I did my final shaping, preheated my oven and my cast iron Dutch oven with it, and did my final shaping and scoring, and then baked it at 450 degrees this time. Okay, on to another summer grilling recipe. This is another T-bone steak recipe. These are grilled T-bone steaks, and I'm seasoning them with coarse salt and pepper, of course. I'm also using the minced garlic, the onion powder, and some crushed red pepper flakes for a tiny bit of spice. I always like to pat my steaks dry before I season them, and I'm out of paper towels, so yes, I am using a clean dish towel, and I will wash it and it will be just fine. But I am going to go ahead and season these generously right now with the salt and pepper. I'm using about a teaspoon of salt and pepper for both sides of these 2 steaks, and then about a half a teaspoon of the garlic and onion powder, and about a 1/4 teaspoon, if that, of the crushed red pepper flakes. And then you just want to make sure that you season them well and evenly on both sides of your steak. Before I flip these over, I'm going to check underneath them with a pair of tongs and make sure that we're getting some grill marks. And then I'll give them a flip and get some grill marks on the underside. And I'm also cooking these steaks to about 135 degrees internal temperature. But of course, you can cook them to however you like it. If you like it rare, it'd be about 125. Well done would be about 140. And on to my last set of stretch and folds. There's something about beef. It just makes me feel good. It makes my body feel good when I eat beef more than any other meat. Of course, it is high quality beef, and I did get this from Y1 Farms. If you're local, highly recommend them. And you can always message me and I will get you their contact information. All right, I have done 4 sets of stretch and folds. I didn't show you all of them, but I am getting ready now to do a final shaping on this same day sourdough bread loaf. Honestly, it could have gone for a couple of more hours, but of course, I'm in a time crunch like always. I want to get this ready for dinner. So I'm going to fold the sides over on top of itself. I'm going to lightly dust this with flour, and then I'm going to turn it over and build some tension by pushing it back and forth. And then I will put it onto my parchment paper, dust it with a little bit more flour, and score a design into the top. Now I do have my Dutch oven preheating in my regular oven right now at 450 degrees. And I will pull that out, and today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I am going to add about 3 tablespoons of water inside my Dutch oven just to add a little bit more moisture in there and hopefully get a better spring on this same day sourdough bread so that it will rise really nicely. And then I've never done that before, so hopefully it will also still be nice and crusty on the outside of my bread. And spoiler alert, it is. I totally enjoyed doing that, and will definitely do it again with other recipes. link these recipes below in the description. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them for me. I definitely respond to those. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thanks so much for watching my video, and we'll see you next time.
Alright, I'm gonna catch you up with some steak.